I'm Tracey Shirtcliff. I'm the founder and CEO of the Virtu Group. We're a company that produces a product called Scope, which is a end-to-end big data tool for pricing for creative work. So I was lucky enough to be on a panel session which is around looking at new ways of pricing for the industry. Currently it's priced based on the cost of people and hours, and we're just talking around different models. I believe that agencies and clients should both be moving to a deliverable or output-based pricing, where you decide to charge for the things that you do as a total kind of number, as opposed to the hours that people do. I think there was a number of really interesting points, right the way through from some agencies who are doing purely, that are having strategic associations with brands to the way that they price, right the way down to the fear of changing pricing models, both for clients and for agencies. And I guess kind of looking at all the key underlying issues that moving from a pricing model of today to something else is triggering. I think specifically for me, pricing is something that's very close to my heart. The model of agencies is changing rapidly. Originally, creative agencies didn't charge for the work that they do. They bundled it in with the media, and you're talking about something that kind of started back in the 1970s. And then when media agencies were kind of pulled away, the creatives were kind of left to try and charge for the work that they did. And they kind of based that on an FTE so that they had some sort of security in continuing to get talent. I think the whole nature of how we position talent's also changed, because you have now things like Uno Juno and other platforms that you can actually find talent, and the way that the talent wants to be rewarded is changing as well. So it's fundamentally, we have a really moving landscape. So it's really looking at ways that can support the agency and support the client and the different models of that, because it's not one way fits all. It's a great question. I mean, Connect is a lot about what is happening on the creative side, the business side. I think the thing that's really interesting for me about this conference is there's a lot of content that's right across the board spectrum. So sometimes you can go to a conference that's all about the creatives, and sometimes you can go and it's all about the business. I think there's a really nice mix from what I've seen of the lineup. I'm really looking forward to Swim Out and Sorrel later as well. So there's a kind of a very broad run of the content we've got here today. Well, having just come off a pricing panel, I'm going to be biased and say that I think charging and how we charge for the work that is done, how clients pay for that and how agencies price for that, I think that's a fundamental thing. I mean, I think that's a huge thing that we need to solve and look at different ways of working and smarter ways of working. I mean, it's such a challenge as to what's going to happen going forward. Nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball. We're lucky enough to work with agencies globally. So as a business, how we're coping with Brexit is we're not putting all of our eggs in the basket of businesses in the UK economy. We're working wider afield. We've got a global platform for our software tool Scope. So I hope that makes us not as under pressure. I think it's a real challenge. We're dealing, right down to, the pound is nearly pound to pound with the one-to-one with the euro. What's happening on the American dollar. I mean, this is affecting business and everyday people. I think the whole thing that's happening with our industry is we're looking at different models and how we could scale those, whether they will work for us or not, doing things differently, working in different ways, and I think that investigation will just increase. I don't have a magic bullet and I don't have a magic answer, and I think today's panel talking about pricing was once again trying to find one, and I think it's that lots of people will do it in lots of different ways, and it's about how we support those.